Well, Nairobi Jubilee politics is something that has been on the headlines and generally overall Jubilee politics. Was it a good idea to merge all those political parties into one? Well, a lot is being said about it, and aspirants are also not very sure going into the upcoming nominations. And speaking of aspirants, with me in studio is Governor Aspirant Kajiado, that is George Kingori. Thank you for coming. And of course, we have Yusuf, Abdi, who is an aspirant for MP Embakasi North. Asante sana kwa kuja. Now, the problem here is you both agree that there's an issue with the smart cards. And going forward, what will happen? Because this is something that came from top down. Yet now the people are saying it cannot work. So what's the way forward? Let's start with you, Kingori.
I think the issue of smart card was not there even in the first time, but there was a misconception, because I thought smart cards were supposed to register membership into the party. And if you look at every person who belongs to a party, either political or whatever, he does subscription and he gets a smart card. If you look at those members who belong to Kenya Institute of Management, the accounting bodies, all of them have got smart cards. These smart cards can be taken to a further issue of becoming a voter's card. But that one, I think it is the prerogative of the elections board of the party. So it's only that quite a number of us are enjoining the two. The issue of what will be used to vote and how it will be used and when. But we've not had clear directions from the party headquarters on how it will be done and whether to expect it is the use of the smart cards or any other form of elections.
Okay, for you, Abdi, you're, of course, in the middle of this pull and tug in Nairobi Jubilee politics. But if there's one thing that the two camps agree on is that they will not use the smart cards. Do you still hold the same perception, or is there a solution to this?
Okay, well, thank you. Maybe I will take this opportunity, first of all, to say that the objective of the card was to bring fairness in the game, that all players will equally buy the cards, all players will equally register. But you see, the turnout was low, mainly because the card came at a time when registration of voters was also ongoing. That has hindered the objective that we will register our members in large numbers. So the time, if you look at the time the card was rolled out to register the members in different grassroots for the primaries, and the time IEBC had called for registration of the voters, that one has brought hinges in our supporters taking the card in large numbers. So be it for the aspirant or for the incumbent, we feel that we have not gotten that number, that threshold that we required, because for nominations to take on, we also need to show that our fellows, that we also have the numbers in the grassroots. So if we let's say, for example, the party primaries in my place, the person who wins the nomination, if he happens to win with 1,500 registered card members, and we have a threshold of 150,000 registered voters, we still will not have gotten the proper representation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of which, if there's something else that seems to be coming out, and we saw it yesterday at Bombers, is the National Election Board. You seem not to agree on that, and this is very crucial even as the party goes into nominations. So what is the way forward?
Let me say, first I say the use of smart card will be unfair to some sections and quarters of the society, because not everybody has a phone, and not everybody can be able to use the smartphone. And even in some areas, you will find that network, because it depends on the network of the air service providers. So some people will be generally be disadvantaged. The National Elections Board now has an issue that has come, and they want even to have that one in the counties. This is a new area that they will need to include everybody, especially the aspirants, because we feel people will choose their own cronies. They will bring on board those people who they would want to see them favor them. And once you put those people to head the bodies, definitely there will be a very big problem. Because you will find, like me, I'm vying for the governor. You may find that I want only my people to be in the board. And you see, human beings being what they are, they can be manipulated. So there should be a way, a methodology that must be crafted by the party to see that those who may be expecting to sit in the board of Nairobi maybe will go to Kajiado, and there can be reshuffles and transfers so that it can be seen to be fair at the end of the day.
Okay, now the other thing that seems to be creating a huge shift within the party seems that there's a camp for aspirants and a camp for the incumbents. Now, do you think this is setting yourself up for a fall, saying that it is being seen as a divide and conquer method for the opposition, yet you're the ones who are actually pushing it?
Okay, first of all, there are things that, there are facts that we need to put right first. In the issue of Nairobi governor, we don't have a sitting incumbent governor for Jubilee. They are both aspirants. So for someone to say there are camps for aspirants, I think both of our candidates are aspirants. The issue of MP incumbents, that one, it remains a decision based on the voters. Because someone is going to be, if you're an incumbent, you're going to be judged by the job you have been doing. And it's not the same as an aspirant who's put in pledges. Even for aspirants, for us in Jubilee, the trend is even changing. What have you done so far that, for example, you're asking for a seat? What have you done for the youth? What have you done for the women and the vulnerable? For incumbents is a bigger challenge. For example, in my constituency right now, and I will encourage the media to cover this because it's a very sensitive issue in Nairobi. The youths are being killed in large number. Boma, Dandora, Kayole, if you see all those areas, it's a very sensitive place where the employment is high, the youths have become vulnerable, jobless, they turn out to these small crimes. And the police have decided to take severe actions, which for me I feel very bad, and it's a very touching issue. If you go there, and the crime rates have increased in the city. And approaching the electioneering period, incumbents or people might tend to issue handouts. Thereafter, what happens? The youths come back to their crime zones. So for the youths, I always urge them, and I've been urging them, wherever we go to these media platforms, this is the time to make their decisions for the right choices.
All right. For George Kingori, you're facing the incumbent, of course, from ODM Medivin in Kendianye. How is the politics in Kajiado? Is Jubilee together to make sure that you, send Kendianye home, or is there a pull and tag?
Now, for what we have seen up to now, it's a pull and tag work inside the Jubilee. As you have mentioned, there is also the key issue of the incumbents, who now, given the issue of the smart cards, they appear to be more flashy. They can buy more smart cards than the aspirants. An issue that would want to make even the aspiring governors want to be more closer to the incumbents, who appear to be commanding more resources and commanding more favors from the Mwananchi. Because people really, at this voting time, they would want to see them getting something small from the aspirants. And definitely the aspirants are not having as much money as the incumbents. Given the incumbents have been in office for many years, they've got even a show to show what they have done. This brings a big problem, where even some aspirants are posing as if they are projects of the government. An issue that I would want to say here that we are not very happy with, and it is happening in Kajiado, where one of the aspirants appear like he's sent by the government, and he has favors from above.
Now, as aspirants going into the general election in a few months, do you think it was a good idea to merge all the parties into one?
For me, that remains the objective was a very good idea, and this is a new family. You cannot achieve the objective from the word go. There are a few hiccups here and there because it's like a transition period. People have come from different places, and this must be considered that what has brought people together is politics. So for me, this platform remains a very good platform, as long as we stick and remain to the objective.
Okay, King Ori, do you think aspirants have a fair chance in fighting it out in the next general elections against the incumbents?
Let me start by answering the first question, whether we did well in bringing all the parties together and merging into one. As Jubilee, I think that was the way forward, because we want a Kenya that is united and has a look of all the tribes being merged together and all these tribes working together. So that was a very good idea. But now the key question is, was the time for this idea ripe? And are we able to manage the issues that we all arise from this merger? And one of the issues is the key issue of fairness during nomination. And that's where we are. And then I see aspirants are fearing that they may be edged out of the party by the incumbents. How now does the party manage that? That is now the key question. If they can see and they be talked to, and they can see that fairness will be the leader, it will be the key, then everybody will be comfortable and wait for that. An area that I think that will be done by the Jubilee National Elections Board. And I think that's where we are. So I would urge this board to move very fast, so that it can give an assurance to the aspirants that there will be fair and free nominations.
Okay, I have been speaking to George King Ori. He's an aspirant for Governor Kajiado County, and Yusuf Abdi, an aspirant for Embakasi North Member of Parliament. It is Jubilee Politics. Of course, we've seen how that has been going in the last couple of days, and we shall keep you abreast with the latest from that as and when we get them.